going on, guys? I'm Blue Skittles, and if you love sports, specifically football, baseball, or sports conspiracy theories, do me a huge favor by liking and subscribing. So, yeah, let's get into the video. When you're talking about Michael Jordan's NBA playoff basketball career, every conversation evokes moments of greatness. From the incredible performance during his second season where he dropped 63 points against the Boston Celtics to his last shot against the Utah Jazz, Michael Jordan has provided fans with an unending amount of memories to look back on fondly. It's hard to pinpoint exactly what MJ's greatest playoff moment was. As we come up on the 18th anniversary of the flu game, it's difficult to think of anything that showed just how tough Jordan really was that fateful June night. For those of you who may not have been blessed to watch his airness live in his prime, let's just take a second to understand exactly what made this moment so great. The Bulls, after taking the first two games in the 1997 NBA Finals, were now tied 2-2 with the Utah Jazz heading into a pivotal Game 5 in Utah. As fans around the globe tuned in, news broke that Michael Jordan was suffering from flu-like symptoms and was extremely sick, but would attempt to play in the game anyway. Not only did Jordan play in the game, but he played 44 minutes, scoring 38 points despite being visibly affected by the sickness. It was a moment for the sports history books and one that won't be forgotten anytime soon. As time passed and the legend of the flu game grew, new information became public. It was the understanding that Jordan wasn't suffering from the flu that night, but instead was hit with a bad case of food poisoning. Many people even concocted their own conspiracy theories that Jordan was actually hungover during the game, despite many of those close to him confirming the food poisoning story. The most popular theory is one that was confirmed by Michael Jordan's former trainer Tim Grover, who believed it was a tainted pizza that MJ ate the night before that actually did him in turn created the legendary moment we're still talking about now. In Tim's words, "So we order a pizza, they come to deliver it. 5 guys come to deliver this pizza. And I take the pizza and tell them, I said, I got a bad feeling about this. Out of everybody in the room, he was the only one that ate the pizza. Nobody. Then 2 o'clock in the morning, I get a call to my room. I come to the room, he's curled up. He's curled up in the fetal position. We're looking at him. We're finding the team physician at the time. And immediately I said, it's food poisoning, guaranteed, not the flu," Tim Grover said. April 18th, 2013. To this day, the legend of the flu game still amazes fans as Michael Jordan became the physical embodiment of the phrase mind over matter. To look into exactly what he may have dealt with during those legendary 44 minutes, we spoke with Dr. Thais Gaines, a practicing emergency medicine physician in New Jersey, to get her professional opinion on exactly what Michael Jordan's body went through on that infamous day. Michael Jordan played 44 minutes with apparent food poisoning from a late-night pizza in the evening before. As a doctor, what is your general reaction to seeing someone visibly sick performing at such a high level? She said, being able to perform at that level with food poisoning is not typical. Most people with food poisoning or a stomach virus, also called I'm not going to try to pronounce that, have multiple episodes of vomiting and diarrhea, sometimes fever, chills, and body aches. At the very least, they feel nauseated and weak. Aside from the simply feeling ill, the vomiting and diarrhea causes those with food poisoning to get very dehydrated. Some people end up in emergency room for medication and intravenous fluids because they can't keep anything down and the diarrhea is causing them to lose too much fluid. If you add this to the intensity of playing a professional basketball game and the additional loss of fluids from sweating, yes, the whole thing is pretty impressive. It's a wonder he didn't pass out. Out of all the conditions, what is the biggest he would have faced when suffering from food poison / stomach virus combined with trying to perform at such a high level simultaneously? Hydration is the biggest issue, mainly trying to keep hydrated while losing fluids from the vomiting and diarrhea, and then sweating profusely for nearly an hour immediately after. What were the risks Jordan took by continuing to play in such a weakened state? What types of permanent damage could have been done by foregoing rest and playing in that conditioning? The biggest risk is that he would have become severely dehydrated, developed low blood pressure, and fainted. When someone is that dehydrated, the kidneys can become temporarily affected, but in a young, healthy individual, that damage tends to be reversible once they receive adequate hydration. Disgraced ex-referee Tim Donaghy alleged as much June 10, 2008, in a filing made by his attorney in U.S. District Court in New York, saying the highly controversial Game 6 of the Lakers-Kings playoff series in 2002 was impacted by the actions of two of the three referees who worked the game. NBA Commissioner David Stern vehemently denied the allegations, saying that they are a desperate act of a convicted felon. He also disclosed that the league had already briefed members of the U.S. Congress on a certain facets of the Donaghy investigation. "We welcome scrutiny here. This is something that should be scrutinized," said Stern, who called Donaghy a singing, cooperating witness, and repeatedly referred to the former referee as a felon as he spoke with reporters for more than 8 minutes near the loading dock of the Staples Center as he arrived for Game 3 of the finals. The allegations are some of the strongest ever made against the NBA, coming at a time when the officiating of this year's finals between the Celtics and Lakers has come under heavy scrutiny. In the letter submitted by Donaghy's attorney, the following manipulation is alleged. Referees A, F, and G were officiating a playoff series before teams 5 and 6 in May of 2002. It was the sixth game of a 7-game series, and Team 5 victory that night would have ended the series. However, Tim learned from referee A that referees A and F wanted to extend the series to 7 games. Tim knew referees A and F to be company men, always acting in the interest of the NBA. And that night, it was in the NBA's interest to add another game to the series. Referees A and F heavily favored Team 6. Personal fouls resulting in obviously injured players were ignored even when they occurred in full view of the referees. Conversely, the referees called made-up fouls on Team 5 in order to give an additional free throw opportunities for Team 6. Their foul calling also led to the ejection of 2 Team 5 players. The referees' favoring of Team 6 led to that team's victory that night, and Team 6 came back from behind to win that series. Although no teams are specifically named, it is not hard to deduce the game in question. The Lakers-Kings series was only one that postseason that went 7 games, and the officiating in Game 6 was so questionable that consumer advocate and former presidential candidate Ralph Nader called for a formal investigation. The Lakers attempted 40 free throws to the Kings' 25 in that game, and Los Angeles made 21 of 27 from the line, while Sacramento converted 7 of 9 in the fourth quarter alone. In addition, a foul was called against Mike Bibby of the Kings after he was shoved and elbowed by Kobe Bryant, denying the Kings an opportunity to try for a winning basket. Also in that game, Kings centers Vlade Divac and Scott Pollard fouled out, and the Kings coach Rick Adelman was highly critical of the officiating afterward. "My first thought upon hearing Donaghy's allegation was, I knew it," Pollard said Tuesday night. "I'm not going to say there was a conspiracy. I just think something wasn't right. It was unfair. We didn't have a chance to win that game." If you guys enjoyed this video, drop a like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.